Welcome to Change Management Online Training. Press Begin to get started. The next few slides will show you how to navigate the course. Press Begin for a brief introduction. Welcome to the Overview module. Press Begin to get started.
There are 3 objectives in Module 1. Module 1 has 4 lessons, as shown here. Change management is the process used by Children's National Medical Center to ensure that changes in the information technology infrastructure are made in an orderly, controlled, consistent manner. Change management also serves as a communications tool so that customers, managers, and information technology are all aware of the nature and status of changes, as well as the risk and benefits of each change. Why do you have a change management process? If you do not control change in large, complex, and interrelated systems, unintended and far-reaching consequences can result. Further, it can be very difficult to even find the change which caused the problem. Change management identifies who is proposing to make a change, what the change consists of, who is actually going to make the change, who needs to approve the change, how the change will be made, tested, and implemented, what systems are impacted, and when the change will be made. Remember, you want to know which bag has the parachute. Children's National Medical Center's change management policy requires that changes to systems be implemented following change control policies and procedures in order to ensure integrated information systems and applications and use financial resources efficiently, stabilize production environments and ensure that only authorized changes are made, ensure that application changes do not negatively impact systems operations and/or data, ensure system security requirements are continually evaluated, and provide effective disaster recovery control. All changes will be implemented with consideration of the effect on the baselines, including logistical impact, cost, schedules, performance, software and hardware, standards, system lifecycle cost, and any interface with associate systems. Click the link below to view the change management policy. Changes that need to be processed through Remedy include the following: database tables, enterprise applications, transactional software, system software, middle-tier hardware, infrastructure and architecture components, bottom-level hardware, and outsourced services or components critical to operations. Welcome to the Change Management Roles and Lifecycle module. Click Begin to continue.
This module has two objectives as shown here.
Before we look at remedy, approval, and workflow for the change process, it is important to understand the various roles in the system. The four roles we are going to be talking about include change submitter, change approvers, change coordinators, and change managers. The change submitter submits change through the change management process, ensures the changes are approved before implementation into production areas, assesses requests for changes that originated from incident management or problem management, determines the risk and impact for requested changes, prepares implementation plans for changes by creating plans and tasks, completes plans and tasks and updates them with relevant information and status changes, and finally monitors the progress of changes through completion. Change approvers are responsible for approving change requests. Typically, the first-level change approver will be the IT manager for the functional area impacted. Ancillary management will be the second-level approver for changes to their systems, and the change control board will be approvers for all production system changes. The change control coordinator obtains or provides approval for changes, sends change-related downtime information out to the institution after approval, and assists with requests from auditors on the change control process. Change managers have access to manage change requests. They will approve change requests and approve the close down of changes. In our environment, the change managers are typically the IT managers over each functional area. Now, let's take a look at the 5 steps of remedy approval and workflow for the change. Step 1. Request for change. Change is submitted by the requester. Step 2. Impact analysis. Change goes to the change authorizer, who is typically the IT manager for the area over the function or application, and the status of the record is changed to Request for Authorization. Step 3. Approve or deny. If the change has a risk level 4 or 5, it goes to the Change Control Committee approver next, and the status is changed to Scheduled for Review. If it is not a risk level 4 or 5, it goes directly to the next step. Step 4. Implement change. Once all approvals are granted, the change goes back to the requester for implementation. The requester accesses the change request and moves it to the implementation stage. The requester indicates that they have implemented the change and updates the change record with details of what was done, whether it was successful, and then enters the actual implementation date and time. Step 5. Close down approval process. Once the change has been implemented, it goes back to the change authorizer, IT management, to validate that it was completed and updated. They then close the change record by approving the change closure. Welcome to the Change Management Console module. Click Begin to continue.
Module 3 has two objectives, as shown here.
To access the Remedy menu, click on the Applications tab on the left side of the screen. The main Remedy menu is displayed. From here, select the Change Management menu. Select the Change Management Console to view or act upon an existing change request or to create a new request. Mouse over each of the highlighted areas on the main console for a quick review of the functions of each item. So, in summary, you access the Change Management module from the Application menu, Change Console. The console includes sub-windows for viewing change request summary and detail, filtering change requests by group or change status, and it provides a quick view of the total open changes. Welcome to the Change Management module, Creating New Changes. Click Begin to continue.
The objective of Module 4 is shown here.
We are now on the New Change Record screen. Notice that the process status bar at the top of the screen shows the 5 stages of the change process. We start at the Initiate screen. When you create a new change record, the change ID number is automatically assigned by the system. The change coordinator information automatically defaults based on the user logged on. The change location defaults to our main data center, and this is the location of the system where the change is being made. The service field is currently not used. The next field, Templates, can be used to speed up data entry of common changes. In this example, we will not use a template so that you will get practice entering all of the required change fields. The Summary field is used to document a brief description of the change being made. In this example, we are making a change to a bare time pay code. The Notes field is used to document additional details about the change being made. It is also used to indicate if there will be system downtime as a result of the change and the length of any downtime. The Notes field is also used to indicate if the change was tested and if education is required as a result of the change. Now we will go ahead and document this information for our bare time change. Now let's take a look at the Change Class field. Change classes include Emergency, which resolves an incident or problem deemed critical to business continuity and where a workaround is not considered sufficient. Expedited, which are changes that have an enterprise-wide impact as well as associated risk and need to be made quickly. Latent, which are changes that have already been made but need to be approved after the fact. Normal, which are routine changes that require approval. Standard, which are cyclical changes that are typically pre-approved. And no impact, which are changes that have no impact on the organization. Next, we need to document the reason for the change. The Change Reason field includes options for fixing or repairing problems, adding system functionality, performing routine maintenance, upgrading a system, or the catch-all choice, Other. The next required field is Impact. The impact is determined by the number of people that will be affected by the change. The choices include minor or localized, moderate or limited, significant or large, and extensive or widespread, as shown here. For this change, we will select Moderate or Limited. Next, we will select Change Urgency. Notice that the default is Low. The urgency of a change is determined by how quickly a change needs to be made. Low is used if there is no time constraint. Medium is used for changes that need to be made but where there is no particular urgency. High is used to restore service after an outage, meet a time-sensitive business need, or to avoid a potential outage. Critical is used when an immediate change is required to restore service from a large outage or to mitigate a potential safety risk. We will select Medium for our change example. Priority is automatically calculated based on the impact and urgency of a change. The next field is Risk Level. There are 5 levels of risk, with 5 being the highest risk and 1 the lowest. Level 5 is a change to a production system that requires downtime. Level 4 involves a production system with no downtime. Level 3 is a non-production system with downtime. Level 2 is a non-production system with no downtime. And Level 1 is a day-to-day change. To the right of the Risk Level field, there is a risk calculator to help you determine the level of risk of a change. Next, we will go to the categorization screen to indicate what is being changed and how we are changing it. The operational categorization defines the type of change being made. In this example, we will indicate that we are modifying an application. Next, we will make the product selection. We will indicate that we are changing the bear time production system. The product selection drives the change approval process. Select Save to save your changes. Now let's review the remaining fields on the change screen. Next is the Status field. New changes default to the draft status. This allows you to create and edit change requests before submitting them for approval. The next mandatory field is the Manager group. This is the approval group for the change request. The system will assign a default manager group based on the product you selected. Now let's look at some of the fields on the right-hand side of the window. You can use the Work Detail window to enter additional notes about the change. You can attach documents such as work plans, test plans, training plans, and a backup plan if available. The More Details drop-down menu can be used to see additional fields available. We have now completed our change request and are ready to submit it for approval. Look at the top of the screen at the process flow bar. Select the drop-down arrow next to the current phase. Our current phase is Initiate. Select Next Stage to submit your request. Good job! Your change request has been submitted to the appropriate manager for approval. Once submitted, you are returned to the Remedy home page. You can track the status of your change request using the Change Console. In summary, the key information to be gathered when creating a change request includes the change coordinator and the default in management approval, a summary of the change to be made, details about the change including downtime or education or testing, the reason for the change, the impact and urgency of the change, the operational categorization, and the product categorization.